What up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're talking about the number one mistake a lot of people make in a relationship. A lot of the times people are in relationships and they're so infatuated with their partner, they're having conversations, they're going through different emotional things, they're having those tough moments, and you're like, okay, how do I overcome this thing, right? When you first start, you're doing all these things to try to impress the person. You're trying to help them expand in whatever they're doing. If they're into gaming, you're like, you know what, I want to buy you a new headset. I want to buy you a new controller. You know what, maybe a new monitor. If you're into content, let me help you get this certain camera, this certain mic. If you're into, if you're into art, I want to get you these certain markers and these certain pastels. I want to do this and this and this, right? I want to really impress you. If they're into dates, I want to take you out to the finest places. I want to be able to show up and dress for you. I want to make sure I look right for you. I want to do all these things to impress you. And then you're finally in a relationship and all of a sudden things change. And this is where people make the most mistake. People are in that certain space where they're like, okay, I have you now. I don't have to try as hard. This is where people fall short. Give me a second. Let's get into it. First mistake, or the top mistake a lot of people end up making, is they stop trying. They stop trying. I feel like I got the prize. Why do I have to keep trying? If you ever play a game before and you finally win the game, let's imagine those hand claw games, those ones that's kind of dangling a little bit, and you're sitting there, you're trying to get this certain toy, and you really want this toy. You're going to put the money in. You're going to move the game around. Try to figure out how you can get this toy. Claw is going to drop. You didn't get the toy. I got to try again. Claw is going to drop. You didn't get the toy. Claw is going to drop. You're trying to figure out how to get this toy. So you're figuring out different angles. You're figuring out, maybe I just need to, maybe I should go for the smaller prize. I should do something a little bit simple. See if I can really master it, get it down. This whole time though, you're investing time, energy, and money into this game. Imagine now, you finally get the toy and you're like, you know what, that was the only toy I wanted. Boom, it comes, you're happy, I got it. But you don't play the game no more because you now have the toy and the prize that you wanted. So what people do now in relationships is during the courting process of, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, that's them playing the game. The claw's going down, dates, claw's going down, dressing right, claw's going down, smelling right, claw's going down, I want to make sure my space looks good, claw's going down, picking you up and taking you out, claw's going down, buying you flowers. That's on the man's side, you know what I'm saying? The woman's side is, I want to cook for you. I'm not a female. I don't know what they, what I'm saying? I don't know how they want to court, but certain things, back scratches, catering, soft voices, right? Things that people do in the beginning while they're playing the game. Then you finally get the prize and now you're like, you know what? Actually, I don't even have to try as hard, because who wants to try hard in the game that they already won? That's the mentality a lot of people have. Okay, I'm doing all these things and then we finally have sex. So now that we finally got the sex part out the way, do I really have to try as hard because I already got you? Okay, well, we're boyfriend, girlfriend. Okay, well, that's going great. Okay, well, now we're married, so now that's great. Again, you're constantly trying to figure out what the prize is for you to stop playing the game. And what I've learned in my relationships, I've been in 2 4-year relationships before. And one thing that was consistent was showing up, being there, being present, doing things that you did to get them. And you have to continually do those things. Not that you have to do them super often. It's not like, okay, well, when I was first talking to you, I got flowers every time I saw you. So now every time I see you, I need to get you flowers. But just still do a monthly, bi-weekly, hey babe, look, I want to go out. I want to take care of you. I want to do this and this, the things that you did to actually win the prize. But most people stop doing that. So when you think about your relationship, when's the last time you took your partner to do something? When's the last time you guys did something spontaneous? When's the last time that you guys went out that you used to do, that you guys love to do together, and you could just do it? It could be a game night. It could be going to the pool. It could be going for a walk. It could be having a movie night. It could be something that you guys don't do as often anymore. And be like, you know what, babe? I think we need to sit down. We need to do this. Also having those conversations to do that. Sometimes people don't feel as desired. So what they end up doing is that they just kind of become distant. But you become distant because you didn't talk and conversate about the things that you feel like you need to be fulfilled. So that's how people end up getting cheated on. That's how people find that spark in someone else, because now you're going somewhere else and you're like, I'm just playing the game. I'm just playing the game. I'm just playing the game. And then sometimes you may get the prize, and their prize might just be, I want to be active. I want to have a one night stand. I want to go out to the club. Okay, cool. I went out, talked to a couple girls, met up with this guy, whatever the case is. And now that they got the prize, it's back to reality. Right? And then when you have the conversation, finally, it's, I just don't feel the spark anymore. Things just don't feel like how they did when we first started. The infatuation phase is what I call it. The infatuation phase is the thing that people love to feel, but people love to feel that throughout their whole relationship. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be 3 stages. And what you have to realize is you're going to go through different moments when you're going to be like, I really love this person. I love everything they do. They do these certain things. They say these certain things to me. And then you're going to go through the next phase. And the next phase is going to be, we're going through arguments and we're going through conflicts. And what does it look like whenever we're living together? And what does it look like if we're actually going to be, having a future together and kids? And that's where the depth comes in. And then you have the rainbow side where you got through the infatuation, you got through the conflicts, and now you're in a space where you can actually enjoy being together. Most people don't make it past the conflict though, because they want to feel infatuated. They want to feel like everything is great. Everything is phenomenal. Right? But you can't do that without going through the conflict, because that's where you actually learn about the person. Who are they in conflict? Are they going to sit there and blow up and start pointing fingers and talk about things that happened 2 weeks ago? Or are they going to be like, you know what? I'm in the moment. I'm listening. I hear what you say. Here's how I feel. Let's have a healthy conversation about this. And that's why people don't express, hey, in the beginning, you was doing this, this, and this. And now we're 6 months in, we're 2 years in, and you just don't do those things anymore. Do you not love me? Do you not care about me as much? Do you not feel the same way? Is there somebody else you're seeing? Right? These are the conversations that you need to have, though. Because if you don't, then all of a sudden, things start shifting. Things start changing. But people don't enjoy being vulnerable all the time, especially with their partner, which is ironic, because that's the person that you're with. That's the person that you're living with. That's the person that you have kids with. But you're like, I'm just kind of scared to talk to them. And that's a whole different conversation. But if real briefly, if you are in a position where you don't feel comfortable talking to your partner, then that should be saying something about the person that you chose. Because if you're in a relationship, you should feel security and you should feel safe with that person enough to be like, let's talk about this. Because this needs to be talked about. If it's not, then down the road, it's going to be a problem. That's a different topic, different conversation. But the number one thing that a lot of people don't do in a relationship to keep it lasting for a while is that you forget to put in the effort and you forget to show up. You forget the importance of being there consistently. You forget the importance of doing the things that you did when you started. That's why I always talk about expectations. A lot of females, they have a lot of expectations. You better come with this, come with this, come with this. If you want to be with me, you got to court me this way, court me this way, court me this way. You got to be careful. I would say you want to be careful of those type, because those are the as you should men instead of thank you men type of females. You know what I'm saying? The as you should be doing this and this and this and this, because that's going to translate later into the relationship when you're not doing this and this and this, because that's not who you are. You're doing those things to try to get with the girl. You're doing those things to get the prize. But then you finally get the prize, you come over here, that's not who you are. So now it's, you don't do this for me. You don't do this for me. You don't do this for me. That's because that's not who I was, right? That's why you have to be cautious of the person that you're choosing, because if you have an as you should instead of a thank you, or you're acting out of character to try to win the prize, then you're not going to be able to maintain the prize later on, right? Things that you just have to think about. And especially in a relationship, you want to do things that you're comfortable with doing. So I naturally want to take care of you. I naturally want to get you these things. I naturally want to buy you these things. I naturally want to hang out with you. But later on, you're like, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go hang out with the boys today. You know, I'm gonna go to the gym by myself today. You know, I'm just gonna end up taking a walk. I just kind of need some space to myself. Yeah, I need to go talk to my boy about, you know, the things that we're going through, because I don't feel like I could talk about that with you. You know, I mean, you can really do whatever, right? These are things that you have to think about. Finding the proper woman for you to actually put yourself in a position to be winning. But be careful, the expectations at the beginning, the pick me, do anything to win the prize type of woman, instead of thank you, right? Because the expectations are always going to be there. In the beginning, you act like this because this is my expectation. Now you won the prize. Now you stopped doing what I loved because that was my expectation. That wasn't yours. And now, again, conversing about that is the most, you know, important thing. So if you're in a relationship, if you're in the dating space, not only do you need to be careful of the expectations, but you also need to be careful of trying to figure out what you can do to keep the relationship moving and staying consistent and showing up. Because again, the number one thing that people do is they stop doing what they did in the beginning. They change who they are over time. And now people don't feel as desired or wanted in the relationship, which causes distance without communication. Simple. So keep those things in mind next time you kind of going through a relationship, going through a phase. If you're already with your partner, have that conversation and be like, babe, what do you appreciate that I do? Maybe you could start it like that. What do you appreciate that I do? Well, I still love that you do this and this and this. What do you wish I did more of? Well, I wish that you did more of this, this, and this. Okay, well, what's something in the beginning of a relationship that you love that you wish I would do more of? I don't know, it's a good question. This, and this. And then vice versa. And if she really cares about what you have to say, then hopefully she'll ask you the questions back if you guys have a healthy relationship. And then that could reignite and bring you guys closer together to be like, you know what? This is why I'm with the partner that I'm with, because yeah, you do all these great things already right now, but I kind of forgot why I appreciated when you did this in the beginning. And now you guys can revert back to finding that true spark that you guys had in the beginning. And then you just keep growing from there. Have those little check-ins, if you will. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I gotta say for this topic, y'all. If you made it this far in the video, like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you guys think, if you guys took anything that impacted y'all. And if you're in a season where you're trying to figure out what can I do to really spark, have that conversation and let me know what's up, man. Follow me on Instagram, King Malone. And like I said, y'all, I appreciate y'all for making it this far. And I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. I'm gone.